Yeah, it was right before he ran. Yeah.
How did you end up in the room with him?
His one of his aides, really good friend, Reggie Love, made the contact.
Made the contact and said, hey, the senator wants to meet you?
Mm-hmm.
And when you sit down and you have a couple-hour conversation, I'm the worst at this. If you and I were sitting off the air, we couldn't even talk to each other because you'd be like, what the fuck's with this guy? He can't talk. I'm that way. What do you sit and talk to a senator about? What was the discussion like?
We pretty much talked about normal things. We talked about music. We talked about neighborhoods. We talked about, aspirations. We talked about language and music. We just talked about a bunch of different.
Did he make you comfortable, or were you?
It's a very comforting soul. Yeah. I mean, immediately you sit down, you realize again, I come in as myself, but he sat down as himself.
As a hustler, though, do you sit and analyze it? What does he want from me? Why is he having this meeting? Why did he seek me out? Did you understand why he sought you out?
I asked those questions before I met him. Yeah, and then when we sat down, I just realized he was just a genuine soul and had a genuine curiosity.
Do you think he wanted your endorsement in the sense that he was about to run for president and he said,
looking for the youth vote?
I'm looking for the youth vote. I'm looking for grassroots. I want to make this guy aware. Jay-Z's an important guy.
Yeah, I think, as a community organizer, I think that's, that's pretty much normal for him to be in contact with the community.
Have you been invited to the White House since?
Yeah, I've been there, yeah.
A couple of times?
Yeah.
What do you think about the charge that he's arrogant? A lot of people report that.
I don't know why they say that.
Yeah, you hear that, especially you hear it on Fox.
Not arrogant. He's actually the opposite of arrogant. He's a very humble, open, welcoming person.
Yeah?
Not humble at all.
So
not arrogant at all.
So when you go to the White House now, is it? I think you've described it as a kind of a spine tingling, that kind of thing. Yeah. Do you take anything from there? That's a good question. I would take a few things. Why not? But
they watch me when I go there. I don't know if if that still goes on.
Did Obama accuse you of taking anything? Yeah, right. Who knows?
Michelle's like, that Jay-Z.
Yeah, who knows? You also say in your book, there's a couple of things I want to ask you about, but you also say in your book you were very inspired by the fashion and the whole attitude of the Black Panther Party. I know what you mean. There's a cool look to that whole thing. It's all black, it's berets.
It's military.
Right, it's military. It's kind of a cool imagery, right?
Yeah.
And so you incorporated a lot of that into your style and into the things you wanted. But it's not. It's part of everything. It's part of the movement, right? It's part of the culture.
Absolutely, yeah. For the first time, it was an organized front to protect us. The police. We were fighting police. The people that was. It's very difficult to have the people who hate you, or people that don't understand you, protect your community.
Right.
There's always going to be angst, and there's always going to be fights. Because secretly, if I'm a racist and I'm in power, that relationship is never going to go good.
So when you decide to use Alicia Keys as the female voice on one of your songs, how do you make that decision which woman's going to get it? Whatever woman gets that part is going to probably have a hit record with you, at this point. Why do you use her? Why not use your wife? Why not use Rihanna, because she is your artist and she's yours in a sense? How do you make that decision which woman gets to sing?
I think the idea of making music is not based on relationships. If someone is talented enough and you could put them in that role and you just happen to be your artist, then that's great. But I think the record should come first. The song, because it's not really yours, it's for the people.
Right.
And I just thought Alicia Keys fit Empire State of Mind better than anyone. Mary. It was between her and Mary J. Blige. I was going to use Mary as well, but there was the added piano stabs, a bling, bling, ding, ding, that if Alicia would play that at the piano while singing, I thought it would be bring more life to the song. And that's why I chose her.
Do you ever wish you could sing in the classical sense instead of rap, like that you could be the singing voice as well as the?
No, I respect singers, but I love poetry, and rap is the words in rap. Like you can make a melody, which is genius in itself, and repeat it.
And make it musical.
There's 8-bar choruses in songs. There's 16-bar choruses. 16-bar verses in each and every rap song.
How do you
sometimes 24? You know,
but how do you understand music? You didn't have any music lessons growing up, did you?
No.
I mean, aside from listening to the music all over and over and over again, you never got any training. No one ever gave you a piano lesson, a guitar lesson. Did you ever say to your mother, hey, can you get me some lessons or something like that? I feel musical inside.
Well, she got me the tools that I needed for, my...
what tools?
A notebook.
Yeah.
A boombox. You know, those were the tools that I needed for my training.
No regrets like, oh, I wish somebody would have taught me the guitar when I was a kid?
No. Sometimes I think about playing the instrument, but yeah. But for the most part, no.
But wouldn't it help you when you're in a studio if you could talk to musicians and say, hey, I want a high C here, I want this musical note, or if you could read
charts?
Yeah, I
can say it, but it's not, it's not technical. Like I said, it's the same thing as sitting in the boardroom with a bunch of people that's been to high school. I have on-the-job training.
So
I have a PhD in making incredible music.
So you hear
I could say, dum, dum, dum. Yeah,
I don't know how you say it.
I don't know what the note that is, but I know that's a note, and
somebody will know.
They
in the
should
room.
know. Yeah.
So you say to Alicia,
no, coke down.
You say to Alicia Keys, I hear don't, and that's how you have to communicate with her.
Yeah,
it's a shame in a sense.
No, it actually isn't.
You don't think so?
The song is the biggest record of last year.
Well, you heard that song in your head. How did you hear it? Did you hear the music first and then the poetry?
No, the music came. The music. A good friend of mine and publisher, his name is Big John, not John Platt.
Right.
He sent the song to me, and it was an entire song. I just had to break it up. I took all the verses off, left the chorus, added 3 verses, and then added Alicia Keys.
Yeah. Well, that's pretty amazing. Yeah, it's great that you do it. I just think that it's a shame in a way you didn't get the formal training. When you're a kid growing up in the
basically in the same position as Ford, the guy who created automation. He said he didn't understand anything, but he knew a lot of people who did.
JC, when you're a kid growing up and you're
absolutely
JC, when you're growing up in a neighborhood full of crack dealers and you're the kid who's being sensitive writing poetry, do guys try to beat you up and take you on in a fight?
Well, not beat me up, but yeah. I had a song on my first album. It's a great question. I had a song on my first album called "Can't Knock the Hustle."
Right.
And when you hear the word hustle, you think I'm saying you can't knock my hustle. But I was actually talking to the hustlers because I wanted to be a rapper, and the hustlers looked at the rappers. At that time, hustlers made way more money than rappers.
Right.
Sure. No one had gotten a big check like Puff or got from Arista and Russell at that time.
Right.
So we were pulling up in Lexuses and Benzes, and they were jumping out with turtle tops, like 40 of them, tight, and we were laughing. Right. So it was like, these guys make all the music, and they all over the world, and they miss their son's first steps, traveling the world, and they just get taken advantage of. They don't get any money. Why do you want to do that?
Right.
And I would just blow it off like, let me just try it.
Right.
So I wrote "Can't Knock the Hustle" to the hustlers, saying, because rap was my job, and hustling was my job, and rap was my hustle.
Yeah, because I could see where kids would go.
So I wrote the song actually opposite.
I could see people go, "Oh, look at this pussy! He's writing poems and shit, and
Not actually. It wasn't because it was our stories. It was more. They were more entertained by it.
So yeah, and were people jealous of you at a young age that you had that ability? I imagine people want to just ridicule it because they're jealous in a sense.
I think it was more so. I didn't face that until I got successful. Jealousy. I faced more. Almost like a poet on a street corner. I got more attention. Everyone would crowd around because they wanted to hear their stories.
I watched you on 60 Minutes because I don't know if they were doing a piece on Beyonce or they were doing a piece on you. I forget who was actually the focus of the piece, but it was still this sort of notion that you don't ask Jay-Z about being married. You don't even acknowledge that you're married and all this. Or we passed that. Like, you acknowledge you're married now.
Well, everyone knows I'm married. I just don't discuss it because it's a part of my life that I'd rather keep private. Well,
it keeps it sacred.
Yeah. Well, you need part of that. When your whole life is played out in front of everybody, for your sanity, you need parts that are just yours.
Are you two expecting a child?
No. No, because they put that in the paper like every slow news day, and everyone goes for it.
Why is that so important?
I really sit back. But that's what I hear reported all the time.
I really sit back and wonder, like, when people are going to stop, like,
wondering about that.
If that, you know, the day that happens, I don't think Newsday would know before my grandmother.
Yeah, right. Hey, by the way, what happened to Lauryn Hill? I got all these questions for you. Lauryn Hill.